You don't need to go to Niagara Falls when you can eat some Brian balls.
What is going on, NASCAR diecast collectors and diecast reviewers on YouTube? This is Original Big Bri here, and I am happy to announce we got another new episode of the NASCAR Diecast News, guys. Episode 2 of Season 7, and I know it's been 2 weeks since the last time we uploaded this video, since we uploaded a new diecast news video, but we just got the season started for 2017, and diecasts are now starting to roll in, especially for the 2017 NASCAR diecast season, guys. So we were just waiting on that, and we do got some new cars in stock from our good friends at Plan B Sales, KC Diecast, and Lester's Diecast, all supplied by the wonderful Lionel Racing. So gotta give them the credits that they are supplying us for this year once again. And we do got some new pre-orders as well for more 2017 diecasts. There's a lot of cool looking ones, including the new Toyota cars, and we do got some more insight and some pictures, and of course some more discretional info about the 2018 mold for the Toyotas and when they're going to be released. That will be coming up very shortly in the show. And we also got some more drastic news about the Monster Energy logos for the 164s and the 124s. And we also got some NASCAR Authentics news for the first wave for the 2017 NASCAR Authentics line. And it is definitely going to be something to look forward to see, you guys, as we start this new episode of the NASCAR Diecast News. But before we do that, guys, we're going to take a look back at last week's episode of the NASCAR Diecast News with its best-selling diecast from NASCAR Diecast News 163. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on the wonderful world of YouTube, welcome to the NASCAR Diecast News. I'm your host, Original Big Bri, and we're going to get things started, guys, with your newly released diecast from our good friends at Plan B Sales, KC Diecast, and Lester's Diecast. Highly encourage you guys to check them out, including all your local diecast dealers that supply the Lionel Racing diecasts that we have for 2017. But we also do got some 2016 cars as well, so why won't we go ahead and wrap that up right here? So we do got some 2016 cars to still continue this year that were released that are now released at your local diecast dealers or at Plan B Sales or any other names that I mentioned. And the first one up is good old Bubba Wallace, or also known as Darrell Wallace Jr. in his 2016 number 6 Ford Dawn Throwback car. And of course, since it's a throwback car, he drove this car at the Darlington Raceway for the Xfinity Series, and this is a Dawn Throwback to if you guys were born in the early 90s, you guys would, or if you watch NASCAR in the early 90s, you would easily recognize this car. This is another Mark Martin tribute car from his 1990 and 1991 car, and that's pretty cool right there. It's also kind of neat. I think this is Mark Martin also did drove a car like this in the Cup Series. I mean, of course he did in the 1990s, but he also did in 2006 as well, because I do remember that font of the 6 car returning in the Nextel Cup Series. So really cool seeing that car return. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a really nice looking car to get, and a lot of people were confused that this car was gonna get canceled, and I think it did, but I think Lionel pushed it back and only the 124 scale was canceled. So now you can get the 164 version only at Lionel Racing or any local diecast dealer. So I probably would highly recommend getting it, especially if you're a big Mark Martin fan. Next one up, continue on the throwbacks line, we got the highly anticipated Tony Stewart's Don's Throwback car, the Coca-Cola Don's Throwback car. And first off the beat, guys, I bet you're all wondering, why is this car on a base? Well, that is a very neat question, guys, and I will actually know the answer to that because Coca-Cola requested for this car to be on a base. And that's the main reason why. Coca-Cola has always had a lot of license issues when it comes to diecast, especially with Lionel. I mean, that's why we didn't have the Kyle Larson Don's Throwback car released from last year. But overall, guys, I do like this car, and this is also a tribute, a throwback as well to the good old late Bobby Allison from the 1970s, I believe. In the early 1970s, he did drove a livery like this, and a lot of people loved this car. I think this car was far better than Tony Stewart's throwback car from last year, which was a company throwback. So I'm really glad that Coca-Cola decided to step on board with the 14 car, because Coca-Cola, Tony Stewart is part of the Coca-Cola racing family, so I see why they put him on this car for for the Jonathan throwback line. But yeah, also this paint scheme is of course it's driven by Bobby Allison, but he did one of this paint scheme back in 1971 and 1972, back to back at the Southern 500, guys. So unfortunately Tony Stewart couldn't bring it home for 3 for Bobby Allison, but still was probably one of the favorite Don's Throwback cars that we had for this year, especially since it was Tony Stewart's last Southern 500. But really nice looking car. I love the gold and the gold rims on this, and it really pays a good tribute to Bobby Allison. And wrapping up next, we got ourselves another Don's Throwback car, and it is the Ryan Blaney Ford Motorcraft car. And this was surprisingly, I thought this car was going to get canceled, but it didn't, and it's now available at your local diecast dealers. And this is a throwback to David Pearson's 1976 car. Of course, David Pearson is you know, a very recognizable driver in the Wood Brothers franchise, so really cool seeing that this car, of course, like the 43 Richard Petty car, it was like kind of no surprise that this car was going to be the throwback for for Ryan Blaney. But I do like this. It does really blend well with the paint scheme that he had in 1976, and you know, overall a really nice looking car. I think a lot of old-time NASCAR fans will really enjoy this car for sure. And next one up, speaking on the duty for Ryan Blaney, we also got his Virginia Tech car that I'm sure many Virginia fans will like, and not too many Bristol fans will like. But he did drove this car at Bristol to support the upcoming game that was coming up at Bristol. So I know the crowd wasn't too happy about that, because it was a Bristol race and not too many Virginia fans out there. But if you are a fan of Virginia Tech, I think this would be a cool car to get. But if you were at that Bristol race, tell me how you guys thought about you know, Ryan Blaney supporting Virginia Tech. That's kind of risky right there, but still a really nice looking car, and I'm glad that this is another car that's supporting the colleges. We've had a couple drivers like Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip supporting colleges, so really cool seeing NASCAR is incorporating that into the cars. So very nice looking car. I think it is probably it's definitely a unique Ryan Blaney car that we have for 2016. But that wraps up the 2016 diecast, guys, and now we're gonna get on to the 2017 diecast. I know that's what you all are looking forward to, and we're gonna wrap things, and we're gonna start things off with the Austin Dillon Dow car. And this car definitely is a lot more different than what from his counterpart was in the past 3 years, which were in 2014, 2015, and 2016. So I'm really glad Dow and RCR decided to change the paint scheme up for this year for Richard Childress Racing and all the guys in the number 3 car. You know, there's a lot more black on this car, which, you know, is really cool, especially for any Earnhardt fans out there. I think this car really is starting to look like, I don't really want to say that because I know a lot of NASCAR fans will be kind of ticked off on that, but I'm really getting a lot of Dale Earnhardt vibes seeing this car. Just, I don't know how that black and the gray is just fading in. Just, I really do like that. I mean, I just feel like there should be a little more sponsors on this, and then this car will be perfect. But I do like the new change, the new paint scheme that they had for this 3 car, and also matches the box as well. So, I mean, if you're really into the, if you're really into like designs and all that, this car really matches well with the box, and I think that's really cool right there. Next one up is the Kevin Harvick Jimmy John's number 4 Ford Fusion. Holy Christ, that feels weird to say, but yep, Kevin Harvick is a Ford. And first of all, guys, this car is not on a base. Yes, because Lionel decided to remove the Busch logos, which is a really risky move, but I'm sure they would do that in their NASCAR Authentics line as well, which I'll be talking about that very shortly, because this car does make an appearance in Wave 1. That's a spoiler right there, but yeah, the Jimmy John's car does... I mean, of course, it's on a Ford this year, so that's probably the big difference right there. And of course, you don't see any monster logos as well. So this is a very kid-friendly car, but I'm sure not too many Harvick fans are going to be too happy that they removed the Busch logos, because it is going to be inaccurate. But I don't know. I think this car is... I don't know. It's a really tough call to say. If you still like the Kevin Harvick Jimmy John's car, I would pick it up. But technically this car is inaccurate, so I'm not quite sure about this car yet. Unless they decide to re-release it with the alcohol sponsors, but then again, it'll be on the base. So we'll see what comes up with Lionel with this car. And of course, we got the Casey Kane Farms Insurance car. Nothing too much to say about this right here. It's been the same paint scheme since last year, but a little more high quality in the mold, and the decals do look a little more better. And from this picture, it kind of looks like it's a matte finish, I think. But still a nice looking car. I mean, of course, it does not have the Sprint Cup Series logo on it. That's probably the only difference, and probably some other sponsors that are not in for Casey Kane this year. So it's gonna be a pretty short diecast review for any guys who review this car. But still a nice looking car for any Casey Kane fans out there. Next one up is a big change for the Hendrick cars, and it is the Chase Elliott 2017 Napa Auto Parts car. I definitely do admire this car a lot more than his rookie car from last year, because it has a lot more yellow to it. However, though, I'm not really digging the design, and you know, it's just too basic. But it does look a little bit better with the yellow, but just I'm hoping we get something more vibrant for next year in 2018. But it's still a nice looking car. You know, I do like the the yellow roof rails and the yellow splitter. So it's still pretty nice, and it's got it's got all the updated logos on, well as last year's didn't. So you got Center Energy 1 and Mountain Dew and all that. So a very bright looking car, and kind of stands out. Of course, the Napa cars always stand out in the NASCAR Monster Energy series. So yeah, that sounds really weird. But of course, this car does not have the Monster logos as well. But still a really nice looking car, especially for any Chase Elliott fans who want to get this car. I would recommend it. And next one up is a big change for Ryan Newman. They decided to go with all white this year for the Caterpillar car, and it does look a little different. And I don't know, I kind of like it. You know, it kind of goes well with how the Austin Dillon Dow car was, where it has the black and the red and the white, but this has the addition of yellow. So I do like this car. It is a little different. It's a little out of the ordinary for Caterpillar. Some people might think this car might be a little too bland, but I do like this change. I can't really say too much else about this car because it's kind of basic, but I do like the change that Caterpillar decided to bring for this year for this car. And plus, if you like cats, I would get this car as well, even though that's a tractor company and not little cats, but I still would recommend it for sure. And next one up is the Aric Almirola Smithfield Fueled by Bacon car. Oh man, well, I'm hoping that car does not fuel by bacon. Just ask Connor Daly from 2015 at the Indy 500. But back to NASCAR, guys. The Smithfield, good old American car, is back, and not too many changes to it. I think the only difference I can see on this car is, of course, you know, the NASCAR logo instead of the Sprint Cup Series logo, and some sponsor changes on the deck lid of this car. But still a nice looking car. I think it does look a little more better in the mold from last year's. So, you know, if you're an Aric Almirola fan, I think this would be a car to get for sure. But, you know, not really too much difference about this car, but it's still a very nice, cool representation of the American colors. So, still a nice looking car. Just hoping we get a change for next year for this car. And to wrap things up, guys, for the 2017 NASCAR Diecast for 164s, we got the Dale Jr. Nationwide car. Now, not too many people were excited that this car, how this design of this car turned out. I mean, I got to give props for Nationwide for changing up their paint schemes every year, unlike, Mountain Dew, who took forever to finally get a new paint scheme change, which I'm glad they finally did. But when people first saw the render of this car, they're like, I don't really like the white on this car, and people said that it will look better with black. But to be honest, it's different, and I can't say it's my favorite Nationwide car. I think everyone's favorite Nationwide car was probably from 2015. Mine was probably 2016. I kind of like the blue and the gray, but everyone's got their own little opinions. But this car ain't too bad. It's a little on the plain side, but at least it's a change, and it doesn't look too bad. I think this car will grow onto us, especially for the junior fans. They'll definitely support wherever juniors drive. So this is an alright looking car, I would have to say, and probably, of course, Junior Nation's gonna pick up this car for sure. And now we're going on to the 124s, guys, and the only 124s I'm going to be talking about is the Chase Elliott 2016 K&N West Sonoma win car. Now, a lot of you guys probably are wondering, oh wow, this is a very unique car. Lionel decided to actually make a raced version for the K&N Pro Series for the West Side, I believe. And yeah, it is pretty cool. As you can see, there's a lot of contingencies on this car, so that's really going to be impressive for many diecast reviewers like Race Day 2011, because they always go crazy on the contingencies. But yeah, I don't really see too much race marks on this car, but I'm sure there is. It still looks really nice, especially, of course, I'm saying that for any Chase Elliott fans out there, like Matt Dierkel. They're definitely going to get this car. And it kind of brings back memories of just seeing that old stock car that we used to have before we went to Car Tomorrow and then the Gen 6. So, I think that looks really cool. It kind of, blends the past from the past to the new generation. So it's really cool that Chase Elliott decided to drive in that car, and he also won the pole, I believe, at this race. And I think that this was his first win in the K&N series in his 4 starts, I think, when he drove on the West Side. I'm just looking at from the stats that Lionel said. But yeah, really nice looking car. It's basically the same as his Cup car from 2016, and decided to put it on the K&N body, and it doesn't look too bad. I kind of like it, to be honest. So probably definitely recommend for any Chase Elliott fans out there. And yeah, I think it's a really nice looking car. Alright, buddy, and now we're gonna get on to the pre-orders and some other information coming for diecast news. And there's a good amount of pre-orders that we have for 2017 diecast, and one that really is catching my eye, we're starting to see some Toyota diecasts that are starting to get in the pre-orders list now. Like, we got some Joe Gibbs Racing drivers and some Furniture Row Racing cars. And if you guys have noticed already, that Toyota is changing their body mold for this year. They released the 2018 Toyota Camry, and Lionel, we were all wondering if Lionel is in preparation of updating the mold for the Toyotas, and they have. And thankfully, to their wonderful YouTube channel, Lionel Racing, check out their YouTube. The new YouTube series, The Fix. I would recommend it. Coming from a diecast collector like me, it's a really cool source to look at. And they released some pictures of the prototype for the 2018 mold, guys. So as I show you guys the pictures right here, this is just a rough draft of what the mold will look like. As you can tell, you got the new Toyota grill, which I'm not really a too big fan on it, but I think it's gonna start growing on me once we see it at the racetrack on TV and all that stuff. And you can also see another cool dead giveaway is the smaller spoiler, and I think they're going to do this for all the diecast coming around summertime. But Lionel Racing's a fix. They said that they might have these shipped out by April, but I think we will not be getting these Toyota diecast or any of the other cars with these smaller spoilers. Probably not until I would guess around summertime, guys. And including into that, guys, we do got some Monster Energy news regarding the logos, and this is going to be a common question. I know this is going to be on the NASCAR Diecast news, so I'm going to say this once and say it again, guys. But here we do got some more news on regarding that, guys. If you guys tuned in last week about that situation, but Lionel Racing did confirm some more news, and some more, scary retrospects about the Monster Energy logos. If you guys have not noticed already, guys, 164s have not had the best luck with Monster Energy and any kind of energy drinks cannot be produced in the 164s, and either that, they could be on the base, or they're basically treated like alcohol, basically, because the 164s are mostly dedicated to smaller audiences like you guys who are watching on YouTube and on social media. And a lot of people were wondering of just what was going to happen with the 164s, about the the Monster Energy logos and all that, even though we've seen them on 164s before, like the Kurt Busch car. But they have came out and said that they will not, and I mean not, have any monster markings whatsoever on the 164s, and only on the 164s. For the 124 collectors, you guys will have the accurate Monster Energy logos, but 164s, they say they cannot have any monster logos whatsoever. And I know that's going to be very disappointing for many people out there who are especially hardcore to 164 collectors like Race Day 2011 and myself. But I don't know, it's a really tough situation. I think it's something that is really going to be just a big topic about as the 2017 diecast season goes on. I mean, basically, we're going to be getting inaccurate diecast for this year, which is downright disappointing. But you can't blame Lionel. It's a sponsor Monster already. I really don't get why Monster. I don't want to go on a rant right here, but I just don't really get why Monster is just putting a lot of regulations on diecast. I mean, we've had some 5-hour energy cars, some Nascars being produced in like 2012 and 2013. And then all of a sudden, when like 2014 hits or 2015, they said they can't make any diecast with Monster or NOS or anything. So I don't really understand why. I mean, Lionel has made diecast with energy sponsors before on 164s. But it's not really a big concern. But I'm just kind of disappointed that Lionel didn't try hard enough to just pressure Monster to get them accurate diecast. But they could have done something else. They could have done what Racing Champions did and Motorsports Authentics did with I don't think Motorsports Authentics, but like Winter Circles and all those old companies when they had Winston in the Cup Series, because that was a cigarette. I wish they could have done something like that, guys. Because we are technically getting inaccurate diecast, and I think that's just downright disappointing. I think not too many people are going to spend $9 for an inaccurate car. But it kind of is what it is. I know a lot of people are going to be very disappointed, but there's always custom makers out there, guys, and we'll see how it goes from there. But if you guys still have noticed already, yeah, 164's going to be inaccurate. Case closed. Not really much to do about it, guys. That's all I got to say right there on that situation. But I'm sure we'll get some more comments in the future about this, and I'll just redirect them to this article. And this was also found in the Lionel Racing Forum if you guys are curious where I found this at. So yeah, just very disappointing, but we'll just see how this goes on, and hopefully it won't affect the Lionel sales as the diecast season goes on. So yeah, alrighty guys, and we're gonna go on to our final topic, guys, which is always the most exciting part, and this is also the title of the video. NASCAR Authentics Wave 1 2017 has been announced, courtesy thanks to, once again, Lionel Racing's The Fix. Really gotta appreciate them that they were joining the YouTube community for diecast collectors, so gotta thank them for this information and the pictures as well. And also check out LionelAuthentics.com if you guys want to see the clearer pictures of these and all the information about NASCAR Authentics. I'll probably put the link in the description, and you guys can just type it on the URL or whatever. But yeah, guys, we got Wave 1, guys, coming up for 2017. And first of all, people are wondering, what's in 2017, guys? Well, we do have 2017 diecast, so this is a first for Lionel Racing, guys, because we did not have 2016 diecast from last year. We did not got them until Wave 4, I believe. So it did took them quite a while to finally get 2016 diecast, but thankfully Lionel's been up to date, and they've been doing a phenomenal job getting 11 waves last year, which was amazing, downright far better than their predecessor Spin Master. But we do got some changes for NASCAR Authentics, guys, and I pulled a picture up right here. You see all the diecasts are listed, and right off the bat, guys, we do got a new box design, guys, and they are a lot more colorful, and the colors go by what the main color of the car is, guys. And if you think about that, that's a pretty creative idea, because if you find these cars that are stocked like all the way full, it'll be easy to tell what car is which instead of just digging through and which car is hiding. You can tell what car it is by the color. So let's say the Ryan Newman car right there, that's definitely going to be a dead giveaway, and you'll probably see that car from quite a distance, and you'll know if your Walmart or your Target or Toys R Us has it. So I think that's a really creative idea. I don't think too many people will not like that change, but I think it's a nice way to just, you know, get the car recognized and get it cleaned off the shelves, because nothing can be worse than those Batman or Superman cars. But anyways, we're gonna go on to the diecast, guys, and some of these cars I already kind of reviewed, but we'll just still talk about them briefly. So we do got some 2017 diecasts, like the Aric Almirola Smithfield car. That's a really nice looking car. That is a I think that's the third Almirola car that we are getting for NASCAR Authentics. So 2017 Smithfield car, really glad we're finally getting a Smithfield car for NASCAR Authentics. And then of course we gotta have a Dale Jr. car in NASCAR Authentics, guys. Seems like every wave we always have a junior car, with the exception of the last two waves that we had, which was a Chase Elliott car from wave 11, but still, it was still junior, so there's always an 88 car in the NASCAR Authentics wave. So not surprised seeing that this car is going to be released, but it's going to be cool to have that car with the hood magnets as well. We got those little thin hood magnets, so that's gonna be cool right there. The Jimmy John's car, the Ford Fusion by Kevin Harvick, that's making a return. Of course, it's in the Ford, so it is slightly different, so I think that'll be a cool car to pick up. Now this car I did not talk about, and it's a 2017 diecast that I don't think too many people are gonna be excited about, but it is gonna be an eye catcher, and it's the Keselowski Autotrader Ford. Now of course this car has not been released in the regular section, in the regular released for Lionel Racing. Probably by the time I upload this video, who knows. But the Autotrader car, you know, that's first time we're getting an Autotrader car for this year, for NASCAR Authentics in general. So really glad I decided to do that. You know, I think that car would look really nice with the Alliance Truck Parts car from last year. So you know, glad that they're starting to experiment on the Penske cars and just giving us, you know, than the traditional Shell car or the traditional Miller Lite car, which of course they can't put the Miller Lite car on here. But really nice looking, and definitely if you're a fan of Orange and Blue, like my friend Derek Lewis, yeah, I'm sure he's gonna get this car. And then we got the Ryan Newman 2017 Cat car. Like I said, if you love cats, I think this car will be a cool car to get right here. But also I do like the change as well. However, the hood is black, and I think that's kind of unique because it brings back that, of course that's what the hood looks like. So like I said, if you're a fan of cats, you should get this car. The Nature's Bakery number 10 car. Now this is a car I gotta laugh about now, because if you guys have heard the news about Nature's Bakery, I don't think they're going to be a sponsor for Danica Patrick. So this is going to be kind of neato seeing a car being released. I know this car was the first diecast that we got released for 2017, but I don't think this car is ever going to be raced because of the whole situation with Nature's Bakery, guys. If you guys ever heard about that, I think the sponsor, they're having some sponsorship. They're not really having any good agreements with Nature's Bakery and Stewart Racing. This is just a rough rumor, but I've seen that they took Nature's Bakery off all the Stewart Haas uniforms and all that. So I'm not quite sure what's going on right there, but if my mistakes are if I am tingling right now, then this is probably going to be a car that will not be raced. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I'm sure it's still going to sell because it's a Danica Patrick car, and she's a good marketer. So yeah. And now the last two cars in this wave one for 2017 are 2016 diecast, but they are exclusives, guys. And you know I'm a sucker for exclusive diecast. And a lot of people, this car I'm about to show you right here, the Ryan Reef Throwback car, many people are really looking forward for this car. The Dawn's a Throwback Lily Diabetes car, and it's really glad they decided to make this car for the NASCAR Authentics line. I think this is actually the second Xfinity car that we're getting for NASCAR Authentics. Of course, the first one was the Chase Elliott raced version from Daytona. But yeah, this is of course a throwback to Bobby Allison in 1975, which he won the Donaldson race at. So that's really cool right there. And also, if you're a big fan of Penske, I think this would be a cool car to get right here, because this car is giving me a big vibe of the old Penske cars they used to drove back in NASCAR. So I can't remember the name, but someone I believe drove a very reminiscent car like that. But of course, Bobby Allison's more famed for that. But really nice looking throwback, and that's going to be looking very well for the Johnson Throwback wave and all the other throwbacks are released. So nice job Lionel for creating that car, since it was originally canceled. And the final car is the Tony Stewart 2016 Nature's Bakery Brownies car. Now before you guys are wondering, holy Christ, this car is a crap car. Literally because it looks like a pile of crap. Not to be all vulgar or anything, but before you guys call out about this diecast, this car is actually Tony Stewart's final chase car, which was ran at Dover. So I do see why they decided to put this car on this wave, even though it was canceled in the regular release. But still, it is a unique car. Well, I'm not really a big fan of this car because it does look a little icky. But, you know, if you're a big Tony Stewart fan, I'm sure you're going to respect this car, since it was his final chase car, because he did got eliminated at the Dover race. But, you know, it's an okay looking car, and you know, I do somewhat admire the paint scheme, even though it kind of looks crappy. I'm starting to put all these puns together, but kind of hard when your car is like pure brown. So but overall, guys, 2017 is looking pretty promising, especially for NASCAR Authentics, and I think Wave 1 is probably going to be a great start to the NASCAR Authentics line for 2017, and I think these will be out possibly sometime around late February to March, to early March maybe, because we still got Wave 11 to be released yet, because Wave 10 just came out like this month. So of course we always have at least one wave coming out every month, so I think we won't be seeing this wave until maybe somewhere around time late next month or early March. But I think it'd still be worth the wait, and hopefully Lionel NASCAR Authentics really keeps the ball rolling for this year, because they did a really great job last year, and I'm hoping they do a good job for this year. And it's looking really good seeing the 2017 diecast coming out for both the retailers and the online shoppers. But other than that, guys, this has been the episode of the NASCAR diecast news. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, guys, please give this video a good comment, like, and if you guys haven't already, highly encourage you guys to subscribe to my channel, where I do weekly NASCAR diecast news and many other NASCAR diecast videos to come as well. Until then, guys, this is the Bridge Big Brian signing off, and so long for now, everybody.